Hey everybody, Bkstunt here with John doing Dragon's Crown. This is video number 3. Just got done killing the dragons slash wyverns to the castle.
Once again, you are led to the throne room under guard. This time, a man stands there with a presumptuous grin. The man tells you to hand over the scepter. You tell him that you don't know what he's talking about. The man's mouth transforms into a twisted grin, and he signals his guards. They inch closer, swords at the ready. What will you do?
I picked A here, but I don't think it really matters.
You fall into a fighting stance. As soon as you steel yourself for battle, the Prime Minister and the Princess burst in. The Prime Minister orders the guards near you to stand down. The man twirls his cape and leaves, as if nothing happened. You sigh, relieved that you didn't have to shed blood in the castle to resolve the problem. The Prime Minister tells you that man was Count Dean, the younger brother of the king. He's trying to usurp the throne. The scepter indicates the throne's heir. The Prime Minister says Dean had Tommet steal it to deny the princess the throne. The Prime Minister takes the scepter and narrows his eyes in satisfaction. He pays you for completing the request. The fairy you saved in the ruins appears before you. She seems to want to take you somewhere.
May as well follow the fairy. She moves a little slow. You gotta wait for her a little bit here. And you go.
The fairy leads you into an old ivy-covered tower. You find yourself in a cluttered room that seems to be a laboratory. Judging by the stratification of dust, much time has passed since anyone last entered this room. Letters amidst the shambles indicate that a magician named Lucane lives here. You find a message he penned on the desk. Lucane wrote that he was off to see a magician friend named Wallace in the underground labyrinth. The fairy uses various interpretive gestures to indicate that she wants you to find him. You accept her job request.
That's cute.
You head to Wallace's underground labyrinth to look for the magician Lucane.
And of course, Wallace's place is the next dungeon, if you will. Changing your staff, those colors there, changes the elemental attack of the sorceress. Something we probably didn't know at this point in the video, but we soon found out. Well, like I mentioned in the part 2 video, our audio recording got lost for this video, so I'm re-recording the audio. It happened to part 2, part 3, and part 4 before we, realized it. But John will join us after part 4 again in all the audio.
This labyrinth is said to have been made in a single night with powerful magic. It is a dangerous place, replete with traps. It bars entry to all who would dare.
Now the sorcerers here are annoying. They like to cast their magic, but they'll appear like on the left side of the screen, and then they'll disappear, and they'll appear up back on the right side. They You know, all in order to try to stay away from you. I make it a point to try to prioritize them. Oh, another thing which we haven't seen yet. If you don't pick allies to go with you, they will randomly join you out of the available ally list. And you can go into the door here if we can get him to lockpick it.
Let's see. I got it. Voila.
And that sets off a trap once you open it. But it is a good chest and it's worth it. So just destroy these slime things.
The torch on the wall could be used to great effect.
And like the narrator said, use the torch. Pretty much instant kill them like that. Just keep killing them until a key shows up.
Hitting the ground can be heard.
Right there, when he says that, you'll know the key has appeared. And of course, this being our first time playing the game, we didn't really know that at the time. But see the key there on the left. You want to fight your way to it, grab it, and then open the door. Because these things won't stop.
You obtain a magic key to open the door.
So that could have been a lot faster, but you know, live and learn. We know better now.
Out of the blue, a mouse darts out and leaps onto your palm. The rodent claims to be the apprentice of Wallace the Magician.
And they aren't even joking here. This is Ricky. Ricky Rouse. Oh man, this actually cracked John up quite a bit.
He was tasked with caring for the laboratory while Wallace was gone, but it is beset by malevolent magic users.
He even has the same kind of hat.
Ask about Lucane, the apprentice answers that his master's friend went into the labyrinth and hasn't returned. Your quest to find Lucane is delayed as you attempt to liberate the lab for Ricky the Magician's apprentice. The door to the laboratory is through this hall. Let's see. Simple.
It's my turn. Voila! They're here.
And you can go into the middle door if you wish. It is optional. I believe it serves for one of the side quests later on. Yeah, it does. You really can't do anything with this area until you have a certain side quest. And then you of course have to hit the buttons on the ground in a certain order to get to the chest.
can do that.
And of course, at the time, we didn't know any better, so we spent some time playing around with it. But since you're watching this video, you have, you know, some knowledge that you can't do anything here until you get the side quest.
Oh, yes.
That create food spell is just
Because the
wonderful.
laboratory was being misused, some of the experiments housed within have now run amok. There's been a population explosion of mutated beings that spread their spores around. The labyrinth is overrun by fungus.
Yeah, you don't want to stand in the middle of the gas cloud. And you can actually reach that middle door there by using the fire on the base of the fungus. I think John does it, but I'm not sure if we do it in this video or not. Nope, not in this video.
They're here.
And you actually want to kill the bee nest up above first if you can.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Outstanding. Enemies.
And here's the level's boss, the Doom Beetle. Like most bosses, it has
Destroy the cocoons before
some very dangerous attacks right in front of it, like that ground pound. It also, I don't know if it's the boss or just the level, but these cocoon things spawn on the ground. You want to destroy them before they hatch if you can. There's a rock over there to throw. There he actually kills one of the Amazons. But he's almost dead. We got this.
You found some bones that seem to belong to Lucane in the depths of the labyrinth. The tattered raiments and jewelry leave no doubt that the corpse is indeed Lucane's.
Ah, how convenient. We have found Lucane. The fairy should be pleased. Not quite as good a loot as last time, but should be some higher level stuff. And you can see our levels are a little higher because we did some side quests. Very important.
Bring back the bones of the magician Lucane.
Ooh. Can't really use a shield.
You found Lucane, but he was dead. You imagine the fairy will be overcome with grief, but you need to return to her.
So you think you could just resurrect him, but no, they want you to go to the old tower first, apparently.
When you enter the laboratory, the fairy frantically flits around you, as if it senses your uneasiness. Upon seeing Lucane's bones, the fairy enters into a panic. She begins tugging at your arm to get you to leave the tower. The fairy is apparently attempting to lead you somewhere. You collect Lucane's bones and follow her. As you enter, a kindly voice echoes from the back. You seem to be in need of help, a monk says, and approaches you. You nervously hand the monk the bones of Lucane. Allow this heart to beat again. Quench their thirst. Lead the wandering soul back. Reverse death. And awaken them. The prayer reaches the goddess, and the pile of bones is once again given flesh. Lucane, shocked to find himself alive, thanks you profusely. He tells you to visit him at his laboratory and leaves. The resurrected magician.
Wandering one, how can I help you?
Might as well resurrect whoever you have.
Allow this heart.
And you can skip it.
You stand before the goddess statues, Jula, Althena, and Vernus. These statues have all crumbled. Texts say the goddesses sacrificed themselves to defeat a dragon, which caused their likenesses to degrade as well. Althena, the one in the center, is the goddess of compassion, battle, and odyssey, making her popular with adventurers. If your party falls during your adventure, a prayer to Althena and a tithing of your money will resurrect the party. If you are repeatedly depending on her grace, the amount you must offer for her services will continually increase.
Now here you can pray and donate for different blessings, which is totally optional. The Adventure's Boon is the best one, of course. This is our first time playing with it. You can only have one at a time. Life protection is really good for when you're facing a tough boss or something like that.
The resurrected magician has returned to the old tower in town. You decide to see him to ask more details. The magician Lucane is waiting for you in the laboratory of the old tower. It seems that dying had an adverse effect on his short-term memory. Lucane can't remember why he went to meet Wallace. Lucane is researching magic called runes, which are closely tied to spirits and fairies. Lucane introduces his fairy friend to you. Her name is Tiki. She left the fairy forest due to her strong curiosity. He thanks you again for saving him and allowing him to enjoy life's rich pageant. He displays his magic trinkets. Lucane says he'd be happy to sell you these items at a fraction of the normal price and answer any questions you have. What will you ask? The magician Wallace was an old friend of Lucane's. He was known as a great magician. He sealed that group, or myopia of Cyclopes, in a labyrinth and saved the land. He also mentored young magicians in his tower. He was also the king's trusted advisor, and Lucane trails off. It seems that Lucane's memory has failed him again. Before you realize it, Tiki is following you around. She seems to have taken a liking to you. She will accompany you on your adventures henceforth. Fairies are known to be adept at finding hidden things.
Yay, Tiki's gonna follow us. Okay, well, you can visit Lucane's tower to buy magic items. Specifically magic rings, scrolls, things of that nature. You can only use them so many times per dungeon, and they restock after every adventure, after every outing. But their restock amount is limited. You can see, of course, there on the right, how many uses that you can get out of them, how many times they can be restocked, and what they do. Heal ring is not bad at all. Healing is always welcome. The other spells are hit or miss, depending on, you know, how much effort you want to put in. I really like the fact that you can compare items like that. That's really helpful.
A letter from the castle has come to you via the guild. It simply says to report to the castle in all haste.
You're back.
Well, that can't be good.
You assume that the letter was sent by the Prime Minister. Perhaps he has another request for you.
Back again, eh? There's a request.
Well, that's pretty much the end of this video, guys. We're going to go visit the castle in the next video and continue on with the game. Okay, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next video.